All right, Calisthenics for Aesthetics, episode 4, chest, shoulders, and triceps. So before I get into it, if you've been enjoying the content and liking the videos, please subscribe. I really appreciate it, and feel free to check me out on Instagram. I'll be posting content there as well. So once again, with this series, I'm not talking about bodybuilding or trying to maximize the size of these muscles. Instead, I just want to show you some variations you can use to enhance the development of these muscle groups in case you have some lagging areas you want to bring up. And unlike other muscle groups in the series, I've grouped chest, shoulders, and triceps together simply because I'm going to use the same variation to develop all of them, okay? Now, before I get into the exercise variation, I want to give you an understanding of why I like this one so much. Now, when it comes to hypertrophy, generally, this isn't always the case, but generally, a greater range of motion equals a greater growth stimulus. And what's interesting is even an intense stretch at the end of a range of motion, with the pull-up, I talked a little bit about this with full range of motion pull-ups, that dead hang position can put enough tension on the lat, that stretch can put enough tension on the lat to actually stimulate a growth response. Now, the same thing is true when you're talking about the pushing musculature. So, with that being said, the push-up is my go-to movement for developing the chest, shoulders, and triceps, and the first modification I make to enhance the development of the pushing musculature is to increase the range of motion. Now, compared to other basic calisthenics like dips and pike push-ups and handstand push-ups, the push-up variation I'm going to show you moves the chest, shoulders, and triceps through more range of motion than any of these other ones. And except for maybe the handstand push-up on parallettes, except for maybe that one, but that movement's not that accessible for most people. But of all the basics, this moves you through more range of motion than any of them. Also, this movement can be easily loaded with a weight vest, making it very scalable. And in my opinion, it's the single best pushing exercise in calisthenics, especially when talking about aesthetics. Okay. So here I'm using a 25-pound plate that lifts my hands maybe 1.5 inches or so off the floor. And even with this small increase in range of motion, you can see how much more range of motion I have to move at the shoulders, chest, and elbows. Now, once you build some strength here, you can elevate your hands further and work on getting even deeper. And with these, you can really feel the stretch in the pecs and in the front of the shoulder. So you can clearly see how much more range of motion I'm having to move through when compared to a standard push-up. Now, in order to increase the load of the pushing musculature, you can also elevate your feet, and this will shift even more load to your pushing musculature and recruits all the muscles in your shoulder girdle, including your upper traps. And this extra range of motion with this level of incline can be pretty intense on the pushing musculature. Now, you don't need parallettes to do this. You can use a stack of books. You can do this between 2 chairs, buckets, anything that allows your body to move through more range of motion. So again, I think this is the most versatile and productive pushing variation you can do to develop the shoulders, the triceps, and the chest. It's safe. It's well tolerated by most people. Dips can irritate shoulders for a lot of people. This movement seems to be pretty well tolerated. It's scalable. You can load it with a weight vest very easily. And it moves our target musculature through probably the most range of motion that you can do with calisthenics without having to get into some really interesting circus tricks or something like that. Okay, so I mentioned the upper traps a minute ago. Those muscles function as scapular stabilizers during your push-ups and are recruited to a higher degree the steeper angle you get. You know, the more you elevate your feet, the more you're gonna be recruiting that musculature. Now, with that in mind, my favorite way to hit them is with high hip bear crawls. I like to use these as a finisher, and they absolutely fry your entire shoulder girdle, including the upper traps, in a way that's very similar to wall walks, which are used by gymnasts to develop musculature in the upper back and shoulders. But you can do this, you can hit those muscles without sort of the clumsiness and awkwardness of the wall walk. This allows you to just fry them safely. You don't have to worry about going to failure or falling or anything dangerous. And like I said, it makes for a great finisher. Do your normal workout, and you can finish with high hip bear crawls a couple times a week for work up to 5 minutes of walking forward and backwards. And you will feel your shoulders, your traps, your triceps, and your upper back absolutely on fire. And this has really helped my trap development specifically. So there you guys have it. If you have any questions, please let me know. I always try to get back to people as quickly as I can. If you enjoyed the video, please like it, please subscribe, and I will see you next time.